I'm Vinnie Politan. Thank you for joining us tonight here on Closing Arguments. This first story that we're going to do, it's a gut punch. It's a gut punch. It's not going to make you feel good. It just isn't. We first reported this story last week. We have a huge update tonight. And it's a story involving this man. He's 81 years old. His name is William Brock. He is the defendant, charged with murder, purposely causing the death of the victim, felony murder, murder during a felony assault, felony murder, murder during a felony kidnapping, felonious assault, and felony kidnapping. Okay? Now, I want you to meet the victim, Lo-Letha Hall, 61 years old, mother of two, older sister to two, was working as an Uber driver, was shot and later died on March 25th. Now, here's what happened. You've got this woman who was going to pick up a package. Okay, if you look on your Uber app, there's a little icon with a package. You can have packages picked up by an Uber driver. She goes to pick up a package at this man's house. He confronts her with a gun. She's trying to leave. She's begging, just let me go. And he won't let her leave. He shoots her again. And she's still begging for her life. I'm going to play for you some of this interaction, but I have to tell you why this man had the gun. He got a call and was told by a scammer that his nephew was under arrest and his family was being threatened if he didn't pay $12,000 cash. That is the package that this Uber driver, 100% innocent, not a part of this thing, is going to pick up because someone's using the Uber app. The scammer is using the Uber app to have this woman pick up $12,000 cash from this man, and he believes that she's part of all of this. I'm warning you, this is tough. Here's video of part of what happened.
No, do not get up. Stop. Stop. Or I'll call 911. Stop. No, you're not leaving them. Why? No, you're not. You're not leaving them one hole. Stop. Get in that phone. Stop. Get in. Stop. Get in there. Help! Help! Help!
She's begging for her life. He calls 911. The shooter, the 81-year-old man, calls 911. I want to start by bringing in our special guest right now in New Haven, Connecticut, retired FBI special agent and lecturer at the University of New Haven, Kenneth Gray. Kenneth, thanks for coming back on this story because we now have some of the body camera video from the responding officers. And unbelievably, the scammer calls the house, and instead of the 81-year-old man picking up the phone, police pick it up. So I want to take a listen to the first one with you and get some insight from you. Let's take a look.
You ready?
Yeah, I'm on.
Do we want to know? Hello?
Yes, hello?
Hello?
Yes, who is this?
May I ask who I'm talking to?
Yes, this is the officer speaking.
Okay, what officer?
Yes.
No, I need to know what officer, sir.
You're going to be in trouble.
Okay. Let me ask you this. The female you sent over here, you know who she is?
Yes, I do.
Okay, well, she's been in an accident. And this is actually an officer. It's Detective Cruz with the Clark County Sheriff's Office. I need you to dial a number, get this number so I can explain more to you. Hello? Hello?
If you'd like to make a call, please hang
Well,
up.
they know that she's been in an accident.
All right, Kenneth, I want to begin here. They know the backstory because Mr. Brock has explained what has happened here about the $12,000. They found the gun inside. They found the $12,000 in an envelope. What are your thoughts first about how the call was handled there?
So, you know, you have to play the ball where it lies. The person is calling at the time while the officers are there. And so I think that they probably played it about the only way they could have. They could have played him along further, trying to get him to provide more information. Instead, they revealed the fact that they were police and to call them back. I'm not surprised he hung up.
What did you hear in his voice from the scammer? Is there anything about it that sort of struck you?
Immediately, he's trying to claim that he's police and that the person that answers the phone is going to be in trouble. And so he's still trying to play along with this original scam, detailing why Mr. Brock needs to provide the $12,000. But then he goes silent when he finds out that he's actually talking to a detective from the local police there. So, you know, the jig's up. He knows that he now has a problem. He's probably trying to figure out what his next step is going to be.
Now, at that point, I mean, police are not required to reveal that they're police at that moment. They can pretend to not be, right?
Absolutely. So that was a tactical error on their part. As I say, they could have played it along a lot longer to try to get details out of him, to try to lure him potentially to the location. But at the same time, you know that the person has contacted Uber, so there's going to be a pathway back to that person. And so did they lose something? They lost an opportunity to try to tie him more into the case, to the extortion case. As far as to the murder, that's going to be a lot harder to do.
Now, unbelievably, the scammer calls back. So let's take a listen to the second phone call from the scammer.
Hello?
Yes, I'm sorry, we got disconnected there.
Okay.
What were you saying?
She was in an accident. This is Detective Cruz with the Clark County Sheriff's Office. She was taken to the hospital. I need you to call so we can get more information on her.
Okay, what type of accident?
It was a serious accident. We'll just say that.
A serious accident?
Yes.
Is she okay?
No, she's not doing well.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
She just say she was taken to the hospital.
What hospital is she
I'm
at?
not going to tell you that until you meet me so I can make sure you're family or something like that.
Okay, I'm going to be there, give me 20 minutes.
Okay, thank you.
Where is the gentleman that was there?
Huh?
The gentleman that was there, where is he?
He's talking to us, so I need you to come.
Okay, thank you. I'll be there.
20 minutes, get ready. Let's see if he shows up.
He doesn't show up. I mean, I'm trying to understand. Do they believe that this scammer is that amateur at this? I mean, was there something in his voice that might lead you to believe that this guy, you know, didn't know what he was doing?
Not to me. I mean, to me, this is a detective that is dealing with the situation that she has no idea how this played out, and so she's just winging it at the moment, but lost opportunity here potentially. But at the same time, this investigation still has to continue. You have to identify who the individual is, interview them if at all possible, or they're going to lawyer up. And then charge them with the extortion, charge them potentially with manslaughter.
Now, we got to hear a little bit more from the scammer this time. The first thing that struck me is, I know we always suspect a lot of these scams come from overseas. This guy's not from overseas. I mean, he's clearly, did you hear anything in his tone, in his responses that was significant?
So I was surprised at the calmness. You would think that after having set this scam in motion, to be told that the Uber driver had been injured, had been in a serious accident, and that he needed to show up there, I would have expected to have him sound a lot more nervous than that. He did not sound that nervous during the second call. It looked like he was just trying to obtain details. He got more from the police than what the police got from him.
Yes, and So in investigating this, right? Okay, so now he hangs up, he's done. How difficult is it if someone wants to hide it? Like, I know we get these calls from numbers that show up on our caller ID that aren't really from those numbers. I know people can be very sophisticated with that. What are your concerns in trying to track down the scammer? What are your concerns about trying to get the person who is really responsible for setting all of this into motion?
So we have phone calls, but we also have the Uber app. So there's at least 2 different pathways there that you can use for investigative purposes to try to identify this person. You notice she was trying to get him to call her back. I think that trying to get that second phone call there was to try to have a chance to try to trace it, as opposed to going just by the revealed phone number.
Thank you.
Where is the gentleman that was there?
Okay, what we're going to do right now, I want to take a listen to, we have much more of this body camera video. Let's take a look at how things transpired as police responded to this. I mean, this is not your everyday call that police are responding to.
Come here. You all right? Stay by 1 second. Are you the shooter?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna pat you down, okay?
Yeah.
I'm just going to hang on to that. Yeah, I'm gonna hang on to that too. I'm gonna have you sit in my car, okay? What's your first name, sir?
Bill.
Bill.
William.
William? Okay. Hey, I'm gonna pat you down real good, so can you step out here real quick and I'll just pat you down again?
Okay.
They got a squad coming for you, okay?
I figured that.
Well, I mean, you're bleeding pretty good here from your ear, okay?
Yeah.
So just hang tight, all right? You're not under arrest, okay? You're just being detained in the car for now, okay?
47,
And like I
it should
said,
be
there's a
10
squad coming to check you, okay?
Yeah.
So just give us a few.
I'm sure glad to see you guys out here because I've been on this phone for a couple hours with this guy trying to save me. Had a nephew in jail that had a wreck in Charleston and just kept hanging on and needing bond money, and this woman was
Trying to
supposed to.
scan him.
Yeah, figured it.
All right, have
'Cause I
a
kept getting different names and different stories
Yeah.
out of him.
So we're gonna have you. Are you injured anywhere?
Just a little nick on the side there where she slammed the car door on me.
Okay. So have a seat right there. We're gonna get this window down for you. If you need something, you yell. Okay. If you start getting lightheaded or anything.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. I'm just gonna crack this window a little bit.
Sergeant took a bunch of pictures, so.
I took a bunch of pictures, Andrews.
Okay, I'm gonna get Abby stuff prepped for unless you need anything.
So I'm gonna have somebody help me get the cost medic.
Grab this up.
All right. We're gonna get you in the back, okay?
Oh, Ben. You gotta line it up, Ben. We locked?
You're good.
Did they get the stabilized a little bit?
She's in the ambulance, so they'll get her care flight and get her situated. He just walked out here and just started pumping around.
No, he said it was a scam. That somebody called and told him that his nephew was in jail and he didn't bring $12,000 downtown. And next thing you know, he tells them that he's got the $12,000. She shows up here and tries to take his $12,000, so he shot her. He said to slam the door on his head.
She slammed the door on his head?
Yeah, that's what his whole side of his head is bleeding.
Oh?
Yeah.
Oh?
Yeah.
We didn't go inside your home.
Well, there's $12,000 in an envelope in there that I was supposed to take to Springfield. And she was sent out to Springfield this week.
Okay.
And I was supposed to take it to this black vehicle in front of the courthouse this morning.
Kenneth Gray still with me. Kenneth, as we watched all this response, and I guess they're trying to care for him, care for her, obviously. They get the helicopter, the medevac, to get her out of there. She passed away. She did not survive all of this. He did. He's facing the murder charges now. But it seems like they're able to get the information and kind of understand how this whole thing sort of was unraveling that day.
Yeah, absolutely. So he confirms the details there with the officer that was patting him down and putting him in the back of the car. We get the details of it, and it is consistent with the story as we know it so far. And so, again, a tragic accident here that turned into a murder. But that in no way excuses the fact that he shot and killed this woman by mistaking her as being part of this scam. But nonetheless, in a very, very calm manner, we have learned the details about the scam through his interview and also with the other officers telling us what went on when they received the calls.
Yeah, it's a lot less hectic than I envisioned it being, right? When we first covered the story, we didn't have all of this. And I was thinking this must have been, very difficult to make heads or tails of what was going on. But because William Brock is so calm, he's able to give the information and everything seems to check out inside. You got the envelope with the $12,000 inside. And then the phone calls happen. So everything kind of quickly comes together for investigators. But now I think the most important part of all of this is finding the person who set this in motion. 0 to 10, 10 being you believe they'll absolutely track this person down, 0 being no chance. What do you think the chances are here?
As long as he does not leave the country, I think that there's a very good chance that he will be tracked down. So I would place it somewhere around 7 to 8 that he will be identified and tracked down. There's always a possibility, though, that this person has got a head start and may be able to get out of the country and make it much more difficult.
And you believe the FBI will be working on this?
I think that the FBI will certainly be assisting, if not playing a chief role. I mean, after all, there are aspects of this, technical aspects of running down the Uber contact, of tracing down phone calls and such. I think that the Bureau would be assisting the local police here in this case if they need it.
Well, and at the end of the day, I mean, everyone is just so sick about this. Lo-Letha Hall is tossed in the middle of this for no reason other than the greed of those scammers and the state of mind of this 81-year-old man now who's facing murder. Kenneth Gray, retired FBI special agent over at the University of New Haven. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks for your insight.
Thank you, Vinny. Glad to be back with you.
All right, when we come back, we'll bring in our think tank tonight. And what do they think of this mess? Al Wunsch, Darnell Crossland, and Natalie Winningham-Burrell standing by.
My 2 best friends were just murdered.
An all-new Court TV special.
We have found 2 bodies, double homicide investigation.
The arrest of Richard M. Allen of Delphi.
Child murder!
Everyone's first reaction was, who?
No criminal history.
They got the wrong guy.
Hiding in plain sight.
He's either the unluckiest guy in the world or he was there.
The Delphi Murders, the case against Richard Allen, premieres Sunday, 8/7 Central, only on Court TV.
I need the sheriff and the ambulance real quick out here. There's been a shooting. Well, I shot her in the leg the first time, and I shot her in the shoulder. The guy on the phone has been trying to get money out of me. And he was telling me he was going to kill me and the family and everybody else around.
81-year-old William Brock calling 911 after he had shot Lo-Letha Hall, and then she's begging for her life. He continues to shoot her, and she ended up dying after being medevaced to the hospital. Meanwhile, he was being scammed, and there were alleged threats made to his family if he didn't comply, if he didn't pay the money. He had $12,000 in cash in an envelope waiting. And Lo-Letha Hall was thrown in the middle of it all. She was an Uber driver who the scammer, I guess, somehow used on an app to send to pick up the package, which was the $12,000, and bring it back to him. Scammer hasn't been arrested yet. Let's bring in our think tank. Joining us tonight, criminal defense attorney, former prosecutor Al Wunsch III. Also with us, criminal defense attorney Darnell Crosland, and attorney and YouTuber Natalie Burrell. Great to see everyone tonight. Thanks for being here. Al, this is incredibly tragic, what has happened here in this case. I'm concerned that the scammer hasn't been caught, and when the scammer does get caught, will they be able to have enough to prove felony murder in all of this with the underlying crime maybe not being a crime of violence or threat of violence? What are your thoughts here about how our system is handling this case?
Well, I didn't like the way the police officer handled the call. I thought that was a little off-center. I would have pretended to be the Uber driver and say, listen, there's no package here or something like that. And, you know, what do I need to do? And act confused rather than making some story about the fact that there was an accident and that they was talking to somebody else. He's never spoken to the Uber driver, won't know what the Uber driver's voice is like. And if he had played that role, you may have gotten more information from him. Because at that point, he would have said, listen, all right, I'll call you back, or whatever the situation is. You know, he may have fell for it. I think the other problem is that, like, these scammers are really good at what they do. And like, sometimes that's what they get people on the phone go, well, you know, this is the police you're talking to now, buddy. And then he's playing with them. And so that's what he's doing. He enjoys that almost as much as getting his $12,000. But what bothers me most about this is that man did not call the police from the beginning. And that's the horrible thing about this, because no police officer seeking bail is going to threaten to kill your family and threaten to kill you, okay? I mean, they don't even call for bail. I mean, you have to call, the person who's been arrested would have to call for bail, not the police department. That's why you always hear the thing about the one phone call.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be...
But these scammers prey upon citizens who are a little bit older, and he's 81, and we saw what was going through his mind. Darnell, it's Lo-Letha Hall is thrown in the middle of this, completely innocent. This man wouldn't have shot her if it wasn't for the scammer, yet it seems like that's the person who's going to get away with all this, and we have Lo-Letha, who should be alive. She was just working hard. Uber, picking up a package. I have real bad taste in my mouth on this one.
Yeah, well, you should. And also, I can't believe that these police officers are sitting here allowing this person to go free. Unlike Al's theory, or a little bit different than Al's theory, if the scammers thought that the money was picked up, they would want to get that money. So obviously these people could have got on the phone and said, listen, she has the money. We're going to give her a ride over to the Denny's or whatever, because, you know, I don't know, she's not feeling too well or whatever. Would you meet us there? Or what do you want her to send it to, or something? Try to get that money to them, or try to let them think they're getting that money. This lady gets on the phone and says, we're the police department. I don't understand that. And, you know, and an expert, I guess he's a former FBI, so he's, you know, said that on one hand, he said she did the best she could under the circumstances. And then I guess you got him to admit that they did nothing right. And that's why I'm in. So they definitely, this guy, if they get him, which they're not, he's definitely liable for felony murder, because that's the death that occurs within the course of a felony. And this was a felony. He set it in place. $12,000 classified as a felony. So they're not going to get him, but if they did, he's definitely liable for felony murder.
Natalie, there's so many bad parts to this story. Innocent people being preyed upon, and in the end, a woman loses her life. What are your thoughts here?
First of all, I just want to say my condolences to the family of Lo-Letha Hall. I hope that she does not get forgotten in this entire discourse. This is extremely tragic. She was just working. And she seemed to be a mature person herself, so a mature person still working. This is horrible. But aside from that, you know, Ohio does have a citizen's arrest law that is in place where you can detain another citizen, a regular person, if you see them committing a felony. And so he thought that she was a part of this entire felony. However, I don't think that Mr. Brock was within his rights to shoot Ms. Hall, because in his detaining her, she was not causing any danger to him. She was not threatening him. She was not armed. And so I think that the use of force continuum would apply to him in deciding whether or not what he did was wrong, and that's why he was charged with murder. And the idea that the scammers would not also be charged with felony murder and be investigated for that is abhorrent to me. They could have put a tracker on that money and finished that Uber ride and found the scammers, and they still have the ability to find them, and they should also be charged with felony murder. Mr. Brock is just as liable as they are, even though he's a victim of their scamming. He took the purposeful action of killing Ms. Hall, and he should not have done that. And so I hope that they continue their investigation and don't just rest on their laurels here.
She was doing everything that she could to try to just leave. As soon as she sees that, I'm out of here, I'm leaving, I'll just go, let me go. And then begging for her life. All right, good news. Think Tank is with us the rest of the hour. Up next. Karen Reed, is she a cop killer, or was she framed by police who covered up their own murder? That will be the question for the jury when this supercharged trial gets underway on Court TV with opening statements.
Jim McDermott, and we're not going to be quiet. We got it.
It's a case unlike any other that I've ever seen in all my years at Court TV. Karen Reed is accused of murdering her police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe. There he is. They claim that she purposely ran him over with her car, backed into him. He was laying on the lawn of a house that was having a party, and then she drove away and let him die in the cold. She claims she's being framed by the people who were at that party, other police officers and family members. This trial, I'm telling you, it's like a tinderbox waiting to explode in Dedham, Massachusetts. Same courthouse where it happened many, many years ago when Sacco and Vanzetti were tried and convicted. Matt Johnson is there in Dedham, Massachusetts, and has the latest for us today from the courthouse.
Hey, Vinny, jury selection now moves into a fifth day here in Dedham, Massachusetts in the killer or cover-up murder trial. So far, 19 jurors have been impaneled. The court looking to have 20 before 16 jurors will be seated to hear the case. That includes 4 alternates. Reed is accused of running over her police officer boyfriend, John O'Keefe, and leaving him to die in the snow back in 2022. The defense claims that she's being framed in a police cover-up. Last week, the judge handed down a major decision, telling the defense that they can't point the finger at other people during their opening statement. The judge has yet to rule on several other key motions, including background checks on jurors before they're sworn in. The Commonwealth also wants to keep the defense from calling D.A. Morrissey as a witness unless they can prove that testimony is relevant. Meanwhile, the defense wants the jury moved, arguing some members of the jury won't be able to see the face of the witness during testimony, which violates, according to them, Reed's 6th and 14th Amendment rights to face-to-face confrontation. The Commonwealth's response to that particular motion moved the trial to a different courtroom in this same courthouse here behind me. That's the very latest from Dedham. I'll send it back to you, Vinny.
All right, Matt Johnson in Dedham. Take a look. Jury selection continues Wednesday. Opening statements expected on Monday morning. Let's bring back in our think tank Al Wunsch, Darnell Crossland, and Natalie Burrell. All right, Darnell, could you sell a police conspiracy in front of a court, in front of a jury in a courtroom?
Yeah. Actually, those are my specialties. So those are like my fire sales. Those are the easy ones. In this particular case, I think that she's already got a real good groundswell, which tells me that she and me are not alone in believing that this conspiracy is possible. That's why so many people are supporting her. I have a problem with the way she walks in the court so cocky, though, all the time. I mean, someone died here. And, as our fellow speaker said, you got to have some kind of empathy, basically. This was a tragedy no matter what, whether she did it or someone else. And she just floats through the air, just smiling and like just another day. Did she hate him that much?
She says she doesn't hate him. She wants to find the real killer, who she believes is inside the house. That's what she's saying. Natalie, what are your thoughts in general about trials where the defense is going to attempt, I guess through cross-examination and calling their own witnesses, try to demonstrate to this jury that their client is not only not guilty, but innocent because somebody else did it, and it's the police, and they're framing her?
This is really interesting because the someone else did it or alternative suspect defense is a pretty common defense across criminal cases. A shoddy police investigation is also a common defense. What is not so common is saying that the police did it and now they're framing me, right? And so that's going to draw some incredulity from some people, and some people will be more likely to listen to that because they don't trust the police, for example. So I think this is really going to come down to the demographics of the area. How do the people in that area generally feel about the police? And if you're already coming from people that generally trust the police, that's going to be a hard one to advance on that jury. We'll just have to see how that plays out. But I completely understand why the judge will not allow them to name particular people in the opening, because you don't know what cross-examination is going to bear out once the witnesses start testifying.
Yeah, I mean, they've been talking about very specific people doing some very specific things, but they're not going to be able to open on it. Al, I just want to go a different direction with you and talk about Turtle Boy. Take a look. Here's Turtle Boy speaking at the protest. This is the YouTube live streamer who has posted video after video after video about this case, believes Karen Reed is innocent, has confronted the people who were in that house. As a result, has been charged with allegations of witness intimidation. There he's wearing a free Karen Reed sweatshirt after being released on bail. But these days, he's also wearing a free Turtle Boy hat. Take a look, because right here on Saturday, Turtle Boy went live on YouTube and interviewed a dismissed juror from this case. Let's take a listen.
So I was walking across the street with this one girl who said to me quietly, "This seems really unusual for a court case. I wonder if this is for whose court date is today." So I knew she was, referring to Karen Reed case. Yeah. And then when we were in the courtroom and you have to hold up your cards, they're saying, "Has anybody ever heard of this case before?" Pretty much everybody held up their card except for her. And I'm sitting there and I'm next to her and I'm like, "I know you know about this case. We just had a conversation walking across the street about it."
Get out of here.
So it was obvious to me that there were people in there that were like a little apprehensive about admitting that they knew about it.
All right, Al, who does this, if a juror knows about this, right? Like all of the fanfare and all these protests, dozens and dozens, hundreds of people, how is this going to play? They've moved the protesters 200 feet away from the courthouse, by the way.
And well, they should. I mean, witnesses should not be intimidated. I mean, this guy Turtle Boy is taking things way, way, way out of control. And it's ridiculous that he's interviewing dismissed jurors. I mean, none of this should be
Why is that?
done.
Why is that? If they're dismissed.
Well, because the thing is
why can't you interview a witness who's been dismissed?
First of all,
I've interviewed lawyers 5 minutes before their closing argument, Al.
That's a good point, okay? But this woman is getting up there and accusing somebody of lying in the jury room. Okay, and how do we know she's telling the truth? And how do we know she's not being, she's just because she likes the fanfare she's getting and the attention she's getting?
But what if she is telling the truth? What if she is telling the truth? How much of a problem is that?
Maybe there was a second gunman at the grassy knoll. I mean, these conspiracy theories get a little out of touch reality-wise, and you believe what you want to believe. But, I mean, I do find it hard to believe that anyone in Massachusetts has not heard of this case. I mean, it's a sensational trial.
Darnell, if you listen closely, he hasn't answered the question, Darnell. He hasn't answered the question, which was, who gets the advantage? Like, if you know about all of this happening, is there an advantage one way or the other? Or it's person to person, knowing that all these people have been showing up for pre-trial hearings with the free Karen Reed, signs and posters and shirts.
Newsflash: Al is the police, as we say down south. But I'm in South Bronx. But so Al can't answer that question because he doesn't want to shed a bad light on his fellow comrades. The cops are very well liked in Dedham, Massachusetts. So I can tell you that, as Natalie said, there's not going to be a lot of people that's going to be sympathetic with her with regards to Natalie would do it for us. Natalie, do it for us, please.
Natalie, you have 10 seconds. Break the tie.
In my 10 seconds, you're allowed to know about the case. You just can't be prejudiced by knowing about the case. So,
bingo.
I think they'll be all right.
Up next.
In tonight's Tank Takes, country superstar Luke Bryan takes a fall after a fan throws a phone on stage. Then he says he's calling his lawyer. And tonight we're wondering if his lawyer would take the case.
There was pounding on the door. Bang, bang, bang.
He said that we'd seen his face and there was no way that he could ever let us go.
I survived because I'm a born fighter.
I Survived. Next on Court TV.
There's no way, Morgan, I can ever come up with this.
We are underway in the trial of doomsday prophet Chad Daybell.
Prosecutors say they will seek the death penalty. It's the doomsday prophet Chad Daybell on trial.
Welcome back. Time for tonight's Tank Takes, where we take a look at the world of crime and justice and all those stories that we save up for the end because they're that good. Still with us, our think tank, Al Wunsch, Darnell Crossland, and Natalie Burrell. Are you ready?
Ready to go.
Let's get to it. First story, I'm calling this one Luke Bryan crashes. He's a country star. He was on stage. Someone threw a phone up there, and apparently he slipped and took a fall. Let's take a look. And as he's holding up that phone, he is saying, I'm going to call my lawyer. Would his lawyer take the case, Al?
And I got to say this to you, because, I mean, I've never been to a Luke Bryan concert, but I did write some lyrics for you. Aching for the birds, aching for the bees, aching for the phone that brought me down upon my cheeks. Aching for me, girl. Word.
I can answer that, Al. I mean, Ben.
Go ahead.
The short answer is his lawyer threw the phone up there to make the case.
Bingo.
Oh, God, please, next. Natalie, help me, please.
I'll say this. I'll just insert myself.
Please.
Stop throwing things on stage at the celebrities. People seem to really like doing that. And yes, he can, but no, he probably won't.
All right. All right. Next story. This one is a meth emergency. A woman not from Florida, but from Indiana, facing charges after she called 911 to file a complaint against her drug dealer for giving her bad meth. She allegedly attempted to file charges saying her meth was, quote, not what it's supposed to be. She described having an adverse reaction to the bad drugs in comparison to the bowl of normal meth that she admitted to smoking earlier. Darnell, should she call her lawyer now?
Yeah, it's funny. She has a Nirvana shirt on, and it sort of matches her complaint. You know, it's the whole vibe. But she should definitely call her lawyer because she's going to be getting a call from the police real soon.
Natalie, your thoughts? Do you think she has a case?
Yes, a case against her, sure. Would not want to be her attorney at this point in time. Oh, my God.
Al?
Well, Vin, you know, I'm going to take it from the consumer standpoint. You can't delegate customer satisfaction. And if you don't appreciate your customers, someone else will.
So, okay, I see you're looking at it from that perspective. That's good. It's time for our final story tonight. I'm calling this one Car Fire. Incredible dash cam video from Minnesota. Several good Samaritans pulled over to save a man trapped in a burning car. Take a look at this. It is unreal. On the side of the road. So what do? You see someone, you save someone. That's what's happening here in Minnesota. There's a man inside. They're shaking, they're pulling, trying desperately to get him out of the car. They still can't get him out. I mean, this is dangerous. These are ordinary citizens risking their own safety to help a fellow human being. Look at that fire just flare up, but they're not done. They're not done. They've got to get him out. They've got to get him out. And there they go, dragging him through the windshield, which they broke, and get him to safety. Unbelievable. My question tonight, Darnell, would you have stopped to save Al?
Al, you have to laugh. Al, you can't laugh more than I'm laughing. But yes, Al is my brother. Al is my brother, and I would have certainly stopped to save my brother.
And not one wisecrack there. That's amazing. Natalie, this was incredibly heroic.
It is, and you would hope, just taking it seriously for a second, you really would hope that you would be the one to step up like that, and that somebody would step up for you.
Absolutely.
And, what is it? They say Michigan nice? Michigan nice right here. Good
Al,
job,
you have
guys.
4 seconds.
Vin, I'm the only one of this panel that actually saved someone from a fire. So that will be a story for another day.
Look at that. Great job tonight, Al Wunsch, Darnell Crossland, Natalie Burrell, thank you. And Al, thank you for your service. All right. A quick update on the border migrant murder trial from Arizona. George Kelly charged with the murder of a migrant who was walking on his property. He claimed self-defense. A short time ago, the jury told the court they could not reach a unanimous verdict. The judge has now declared a mistrial. Julie Grant will have the latest on this case tomorrow morning on opening statements. Now, before we go, please take a look at your screens. This is Axel Paz Rivera, missing from Mesa, Arizona. If you see Axel, please pick up the phone, make the call, 911, 1-800-THE-LOST, or the Mesa Police Department in Arizona. I'm Vinny Politan. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to hug the kids.